Yo, what's up guys, welcome to my humble YouTube channel where I bring you fanfiction that will brighten your days. Before we start, a subscribe is greatly appreciated, and don't forget to leave a like and ring the bell icon so you won't miss exciting new fanfiction stories. 2022 Write Rimuru X Data Live by Yazu_U Chapter 2, AST. So that's how it is, huh? Said Rimuru, shedding tears as he reviewed the memories the voice of the world had implanted. After reading through all the events from Walpurgis and the tasks the voice of the world had entrusted him with, he smiled bitterly. Knowing he would not be able to see his friends back in Tempest saddened him deeply. But despite that, he steeled his resolve and wiped away his tears. He was ready to accomplish the mission granted to him, to save the world. Rimuru had lost some of his skills, including the powerful Raphael. But his other abilities, like Beelzebub, multi-layer barrier, and elemental manipulation, as well as his resistance and immunity passives, remained. "Where am I?" he said, confusion apparent in his voice. Rimuru did not know where the voice of the world had brought him. He looked around, trying to discern his surroundings in the deep, empty space he now found himself in. Undaunted, Rimuru moved forward, exploring this strange new realm. "I want to leave this place," Rimuru wished, and to his surprise, the space suddenly began to collapse around him. What's happening? Rimuru braced himself, unsure of what was to come next. The boundaries of this isolated dimension seemed to be unraveling, reacting to his very desire to escape. With his resolve steadfast, Rimuru stepped forward, ready to face whatever lay beyond. And as almost instantly, the space around him disintegrated into nothingness. Slowly he opens his eyes as it reveals his current situation. He was in the center of a very large crater, on top of a mountain. "What just happened?" Rimuru said, confusion etching his features as he surveyed the perfectly smooth, crater-like formation around him. It was as if something immense had taken a scoop out of the land, like a child carelessly digging into a sandbox with a scooping spoon. Rimuru's brow furrowed as he tried to make sense of the bizarre scene. "Hello? Anyone here?" he cried out, hoping to find someone who could help him understand what was going on. Spreading his mana, Rimuru could not detect any living beings within the area, only insects. The lack of any animal or human presence was deeply unsettling, especially given the freshness of the crater. Lifting himself into the air, Rimuru flew above the towering trees and spotted a city in the distance. There were no signs of conflict or destruction that could have caused the crater, no missile impacts or lingering scent of gunpowder. Examining the crater again more closely, Rimuru realized he could feel the faint emanation of mana from its surroundings. Then, with a dawning sense of horror, he understood. "It was me," Rimuru said, his voice laced with disappointment. The sheer power of his collapse had torn a massive hole in the very fabric of this world, and Rimuru could only imagine the chaos and destruction he had wrought. He thought he ought to be careful next time. He was lucky that he did this where no human lives. Rimuru's eyes widened as he detected multiple, fully armed human presences rapidly approaching. When he turned to face them, he was met with the sight of a group of girls in what appeared to be mecha-like battlesuits, though their attire was unusually revealing. Rimuru couldn't help but blush at the sight, thinking, why are they wearing such revealing clothing? Looking at it, most of them were young girls. Just as the thought crossed his mind, a hail of bullets suddenly rained down upon him. Reacting quickly, Rimuru cast a barrier around himself that bounced all incoming bullet. Deeply shocked and confused by the sudden attack, Rimuru realized these girls must have mistaken him for some kind of monster or some fanatic criminal after the accidental destruction he had caused. "Wait, stop," he shouted, trying to resolve the situation peacefully. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. It was an accident. Can you please calm down?" But his pleas fell on deaf ears as the girls refused to lower their weapons. "Kill that spirit," one of them screamed, before unleashing a powerful blast of concentrated light from a massive gun. The searing beam tore through everything in its path, but it was halted and blocked by Rimuru's steadfast barrier. As the intense battle raged on, one of the girls suddenly hid her weapon and pulled out two blades of light, similar to lightsabers from those Star Wars movies, except that it took the shape of a sword instead of a simple glowing stick. Rimuru couldn't help but be amazed by the sight. The girl then dashed towards Rimuru, her blades flashing as she relentlessly tried to slash at him. Rimuru, however, easily evaded all of her attacks, having removed his protective barrier in the hopes of being able to have a proper conversation closely as he defends himself. Can you guys please stop? I really didn't mean it, I swear. Can't we have a moment of talk before the use of violence? Rimuru pleaded, but the girl's eyes were filled with nothing but hatred and anger. Rimuru couldn't understand why she would hold such strong hostility towards him. Despite Rimuru's pleas, the girl's attacks only grew more frenzied and desperate. Stop moving and just die, she cursed, slashing furiously. Please stop, I'm not a bad slime. But his scream was covered by the loud explosives that went off directed at him. Rimuru continued to evade her attacks as he blocks the gunners with barriers, with a fluid, dance-like grace. Seeing that she would not respond to reason, Rimuru resolved to take action. In a smooth motion, he slid behind the girl and quickly disassembled her mecha suit using black flames. The flames melted the suit's interior, but Rimuru maintained precise control over them, ensuring the girl's skin was not burned. The girl panicked at the sight of flames, but was confused why she's unharmed. Undeterred, the girl removed the suit entirely and brandished her blade, ready to slash Rimuru from behind. But Rimuru had already anticipated her move, just as he planned to suspend them with steel thread. A new skill named itself in his mind. A skill he wasn't aware of. Less than Nyctoptosis greater than Rimuru chanted, meaning darkness collapse. Channeling jagged energy of the void, as a blade of undulating flame of darkness appeared on his hand. With a single swing of the blade, Rimuru once again chanted Exindens, meaning split, cleave or tear. Suddenly, the protective armor worn by the girls shredded into pieces. The trees were swiftly cut down by a powerful slash, yet not a single drop of blood or torn flesh could be seen. The girl's battle mech grew unstable and began to collapse. Huh? Rimuru uttered, puzzled, not realizing he possessed such a formidable skill. Some of the girls found themselves airborne, helplessly plummeting from the sky. Given their current height, the fall would almost certainly prove fatal. The girls still on the ground watched in horror as their comrades plunged downwards. Desperate, they ran to try and catch their falling friends, but the impact would likely prove too much for them to withstand. AI Pyros, AI equals eternal, Pyros equals flame. Suddenly, a massive torch of flame erupted, sprouting high into the air. The raging inferno consumed everything it touched, engulfing the falling girls. No! The girls screamed in horror, watching helplessly as their comrades were devoured by the towering flames. Desperate, some of the remaining girls rushed towards Rimuru. Stop this! They cried, attempting to stab him. But their attacks were blocked by an unyielding barrier. All they could do was watch, frantically trying to break through the barrier, as the flames slowly dissipated. Here is a revised version incorporating the new details. Spirit. Stop this! The girl cried desperately. Calm down and look, Rimuru said, which caused all the girls to pause, bracing themselves for whatever figure would emerge from the flames. Regardless, these were their comrades, so even just retrieving their charred bodies would have been a solemn task. Deep down, their minds pleaded for a miracle, for mercy. As the flames gradually dissipated, a collective gasp arose. Their comrades were unharmed, safely landing on the ground. Confusion and relief washed over the girls. The spirit. Where is she? One of the scouts who had been within the flames spoke up as soon as the fire died down. All eyes turned to where the spirit had been standing just moments before, but Rimuru was nowhere to be seen. The spirit had escaped, reported of the girls. Disappointment settled over the group. It was nothing new, as this was a common outcome of their missions. Failing to exterminate or capture a spirit was frustrating, for they knew spirits were nearly beyond human capabilities. Nonetheless, they would continue to fight, to protect their home planet at all costs. This time, however, they were perplexed. The spirit had seemingly saved them, an act that defied their previous experiences. But they could not simply trust a single, isolated kind deed. It was possible the spirit was merely trying to gain their trust, deceiving them with false kindness, as had happened before. They vowed they would never be fooled in that way again.